Oh boy, this is an interesting angle. So I was messaging back and forth with Kimberly Bunch, the psychic, right? So she confirms what a vision I had where my physique is a lot bigger. And I had a vision where I was wearing a sports coat and that there was a camera pointed at me and I was a lot bigger looking. Bigger than bigger than a creatine physique. It looked like a cycle of HGH. I remember when I first started, people used to ask me if I did steroids, and I was like, nope, just creatine. But I can't take creatine anymore because it just makes me feel like my brain has been poisoned, and it makes you fat too. Retain water, doesn't really add lean muscle. But I was talking to Kimberly Bunch about the times when I felt as if like there was like a needle going through my biceps and my quads, and she said that those were growth implants, and I'm sure that I will have to activate them mentally. Kind of like the way a woman can mentally impregnate herself if she's a wee man. And, you know, it's funny, she's like, there's a man in your room that is just standing there contemplating, and I already know like where it is. I'll show you. It's right there in the corner. And she also said that she suspects there might be a little betrayal in the future, like someone would betray me. I'm like, yeah, every time I go work a security guard shift, that's betrayal. And you know what I'm really getting tired of there? The stale air. Because when you work the third shift, the air conditioning doesn't run. I'm just really sick and tired of the stale air in the building. It's only something you can be sick and tired of if you've worked there for a year. So, I really hope these injections pay off. At first, they told me, Rachel said that, oh, it was a chip in you that was been removed. And that really doesn't add up the way the whole metaphysical muscle growth implants thing adds up. And I had a dream like 3 weeks ago that I was on a plane headed to London, and everyone on the plane got called off the plane, representing, you know, it getting canceled, like it not happening that week. And everyone is in fucking London. Everyone. Sue Debbie just got back. Rachel's there. Karen's there. Teal's there. Ralph Smart. Yolanda Bailey. And I guess they're saving the best for last, right? 'Cause, you know, when I look at those people, you know, here's the deal. Fred told me a long time ago, he's like, Jordan, we have so much love for you because you're so smart. when I look at people like Sue Debbie, and especially Sue Debbie, since she just figured out the whole grow your hair thing, which she totally ripped off of me, which she totally put in her last video. And I know what you're going to say, well, 13th Son ripped off of you. Well, at least he promoted my channel by saying, you know, mean things about me, so he gave me a lot of free publicity. He kept the ignorant black people away. So, which wasn't hard to do. So all these people in England, and none of them have a brain. Well, they don't have the brain I do. Because you watch their videos and they're not like really talking about anything. And you know, David Wynn Miller, remember, he had brain implants. He was, you know, abducted and had brain implants. And you know what? He was a security guard, if you remember correctly, because he was walked outside of Sears, and a Latin gang jumped him and killed him. Then he came back to life after he was abducted astrally. So, which is, I think that's my, I think that's him dying at 33. So, and for the longest time, that's what I thought dying at 33 meant, was that when you get to the 33rd degree, you die, and then you get replaced by an entity to do missions. That's why the Shriners give out scholarships, because they're looking for people to do the hard work, to go to college, and then when the body is finally done doing all the hard part of it, then the entity comes and possesses the body, because let's face it, the entity doesn't want to go through the pain of going through 4, 6, or sometimes even 8 years of school. That would be really shitty. So, they let the human do all the hard work, and then once the human does all the hard work, they get replaced by an entity. And to the guy in Bulgaria, I'm going to tell you for the last time, I will keep my soul. See, I get it all. I get the girl, the cash, and I get to keep my soul. See, we've all heard that, you know, it's easier for a rich man to get through the eye of a needle, or it's easier for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the 5th dimension. I'm the exception to that rule. And you know why? Because I'm one of those people who has a loser complex, much like Chris Rock. Chris Rock is very down to earth. He's a guy like me who doesn't believe that he is rich or will ever be rich. And he doesn't believe that he's successful. Like, when I was with Elise, I really couldn't get into the sex with her because I just couldn't believe that a girl that beautiful was laying next to me because of the loser complex. I've always been the creepy guy. Yeah, basically I'm like a good-looking Ted Bundy. Oh look, it's 33 past the top of the hour. And Phil Valentine is not black. He looks like a broke-ass Steven Seagal. He's from wherever Steven Seagal is. He's another male dress wearer. Oh. Oh, and I had a dream where, and this was like more like a future vision dream, something that will actually happen. The guy was directing the next installment of Jurassic Park, and he was telling me how to act. So I will be in the next Jurassic Park and Star Wars, and I will meet... I was told that I might meet my blonde dancer chick in August. I think they're telling me this just to give me some sort of hope, because lately I've been really down and depressed, and not depressed, but just like starting to not believe they're ever coming for me. And time for me has been moving so slow. And I got to the point where I started eating animal crackers, and the other day I was at the store in the bakery and I was contemplating eating a donut, and I even committed another sin. I put some light dressing on my pita wrap, and before Fred, I was on my game, because I was motivated as fuck to be like 3% body fat, because I was like, I'm gonna really nail every whore in college. And then Fred showed up, and I became a vegan, inspired by the Gilbert Son. And when I became a vegan, I was like pounding donuts because I wasn't mentally ready for... If you don't feed the blood entity, you feed the sugar entity. So I wasn't ready for the transition. Now, granted, all that sugar and pizza I was eating didn't make me fat because I was so starving that it just didn't really get absorbed anyway. But when I went back to eating meat, I still didn't cut out the sugar shit, which caught up with me. Which is why even right now I'm still kind of like, I got the love handles going on. When Elise left, that was like, because when Elise showed up, I was back down to like, looking good. I was back to what I call playing weight, or I was back down to like 5% body fat. Then when Elise left, that really put a damper on things, because I was so motivated to diet, because I was like, here, I got this dream girl. There will never be a girl better looking than Elise. And matter of fact, ever since I've seen Elise, I've only seen her type of alien one time. That's this girl that works the counter at the gym on Causeway, and they had like the same type of freckles and same type of gorgeous hair. And the girl at the counter was a little bit more melanated, but yeah, there'll never be another one, because Elise was so clean. Elise's alien type does not have pores on their face. And they're so like, Elise was very, catered to, and Kendall, let me tell you something. I really hope this blonde girl that's the dancer, I don't want her to be like some sort of super soldier or some sort of crap like that. I don't want her to know a goddamn thing. I want her to be just wowed by the fact that I'm going to be famous and going to have money and going to be a lot more bulky. I want her to be like just loving me for what I can provide for her. I don't want her to be like conscious at all. Oh, I know what you're going to say. How can a woman be conscious, right? Oh, high five. I'm cracking myself up here. This is why I'm going to get my own late night television show. Yeah, that's what I should do. Just a one-man late night television show and just laugh at my own jokes. I really am going to be the king of late night. I'm going to far surpass Johnny Carson and all the rest. Remember, Conan O'Brien is part of the White Lotus clan. And only like 5% of you know what that is. And the other thing that Kimberly Bunch said, she said I was reliving the past life I had when I was a paper boy. I was like the bringer of news. I'm doing it with my YouTube videos that everyone loves. Oh. And the old lady dumped me again for like the 5th time, and now I'm not getting any. And you know, she never gave me any energy. It was always me giving it to her, because when I was with Elise, we would have sex and we would see a lot of purple. Like I remember I had so much sex with Elise, I looked at my black basketball pole that's outside, and it was like completely purple. And with this old woman, I gave her all the energy I had, because she's just so, it's like when you're so old and calcified, you take everything. You can't give anything back. And that's why the woman loved me so much, is because I would make her metaphysically happy, because I would give her my electricity. So I was giving a woman with a very bright aura even more energy. I guess that's why I was always the first one to fall asleep. That's pretty sad that it took a 45-year-old woman. That woman rocked me like a hurricane. I did more with her than I've done with anybody else. Mostly because she was the first woman to actually be on birth control, so that thought in the back of my head, that voice in my head was like non-existent. You know, the voice in your head that's like, oh my God, I might get her pregnant. That voice in my head was non-existent, and so that way I was mentally, there's no mental blocks. I was able to go to town without any, you know, negative sigh. I think that's the reason why I wasn't that aroused with Elise, because Elise was highly impregnatable. I wish I was ascended. That way I could control when I goo and when I don't goo. But I'm not ascended, because my wings are bent so that Alice in Chains. I know McLeary would love that portion. Oh no, we've got 10 seconds left. Take care! grow your fucking hair.